Hello and welcome back to Fist Entertainment for my final review for tonight, which will be for 2001's Hannibal, which stars Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter and Julianne Moore is Carly Sterling. Carly Sterling. Um, this is a terrifying follow-up to The Silence of the Lambs. They say that's what they want to say on this. It's not really all that terrifying to me. Hannibal, which has been adapted twice. First in the movie Hannibal, and second in the TV series Hannibal. It takes place, I would say, roughly 5 years after the events of The Silence of the Lambs. Carlise Sterling is in trouble after taking down a drug lord, a female drug lord, who was carrying a child in her arms. And new information has come to light on possibly the location of notorious serial killer Hannibal Lecter. She gets sent to pursue Hannibal Lecter and discovers that he is in Florence, which I believe is in either in central London, Central Europe, or is in France, somewhere in there. In Florence, you have this struggling detective who wants to cash in on a reward from the one remaining victim of Hannibal Lecter. He was still alive, by the name of Mason. I forget his full name. And his story is that Hannibal actually kind of put some sort of delusion in his face and made him have a desire to cut his face off and feed it to dogs. And so he's very, very deformed. I also might add a very haunting performance by Gary Oldman. He plays a character of Mason. He wants revenge on Hannibal Lecter. He wants to capture him. And of course, Hannibal figures out that Sterling's onto him, and this Florence detective is onto him. And he obviously flees capture from Mason, who he also knows hired this detective in Florence to capture him. And basically, he collides with Sterling, who rescues him from Mason before Mason feeds him to hungry pigs. Of course, he feeds Mason to the pigs and abducts Sterling. And pretty much takes the opposing federal agent. He wants to destroy her career. It tries to feed her his brain. Literally. And of course, she handcuffs him. He actually cuts his thumb or his hand off and flees capture yet again. And the last thing we see in the movie is him getting ready to eat the brain of Charlie's colleague. And a little curious black boy wants to eat the brain. It doesn't, without knowing what it actually is. He's like, oh, it's an acquired taste. So yeah, why does this film not terrifying to me is because there's a lot of black comedy in this movie. There's a whole lot of black comedy in this movie and perks in this film on that. But what I do like about Hannibal is the overall look of the movie. It has a very Victorian look to the film, a very European look, which is very, very different from Manhunter and The Silence of the Lambs. Because it kind of goes into the fact that, well, Hannibal Lecter's not actually American. He's kind of, he's either from Central Europe or he's from Northern Europe, and no one really told you that, even in the books. My guess is he's from North Europe. North Europe, so he's from London or some place like that, or Scotland even. But it really plays on that, on the whole Central Europe type of aspects in the movie, or Southern Europe. But like I said, I don't know where Florence is. Maybe I'll figure it out at some point. But it just has that type of look to it. Hannibal is definitely very elegant in this movie. And things are just really interesting. How this movie plays out and the looks of the film and stuff like that. And this is very brilliantly directed by Ridley Scott, who I'm a big fan of. He directed, obviously, Alien, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Gladiator, Kingdom of Heaven, Blade Runner, and lots of other great movies. I forgot that he directed Hannibal, and I gotta tell you, it definitely shows that he directed this film, because this is a brilliant looking movie. It's inferior to The Silence of the Lambs. I'm sorry, I will say that it's inferior to The Silence of the Lambs, but it still is a brilliant movie. Now let's talk about the quality. I believe this was from Universal, and if this was from Universal Studios, but MGM required the rights to the movie to release it in this box set, or if it is from MGM, all I can say is it must have been because it was made in 2001, and they still kind of haven't gotten out of the whole, warm, color-temperatured, digital type of look of a movie, and made stuff look more brightly lit and more of like an HD version of filming movies at the time. That might be why it looks the way it does, but it has a very warm temperature look to the movie, with a lot of neutrals. Not much in terms of cooler temperatures in the film. It isn't 1.85 like The Silence of the Lambs, which I think it's very interesting, because it's very cool when you see a movie that's in 1.85. It doesn't happen often. Most movies are in 2.35, 2.39, and 2.40 by 1 CinemaScope frame. Most films are not in 1.85, so it's very, very special when you have a film that is. The 5.1 DTS HD MA sound presentation is pretty neutral, just like The Silence of the Lambs is, but there are certain parts of the movie to where it does take front and center stage with good front stereo effects and mono effects, but it also has very cool surround effects in the film at certain points in the movie that really do play really well, even down to the solace of an opera scene where it really has a lot more of like an opera acoustic sound feel to the movie. So that was very interesting and very subtle. Very good movie, I gotta say. I definitely enjoy Hannibal. And that is pretty much my view on 2001's Hannibal. Now, I do realize that there is a new 4K scan, not 4K master, but 4K scan restored version of the movie that's out there from, forget the name of the company. It's one of those, very well crafted. I think the company is Kino. I think Kino released it. I think it's the name of the company. And it's a very good collector's edition of the movie, which obviously will probably look and sound a lot better than it does on this disc. But I do know for sure that Red Dragon was released from Universal Studios. That's my views on Hannibal. Now, my views on this box set. They could have done better. They really could have done better on this box set. They decided that they were not going to do so good on this box set. It reminds me a lot of the Omen box set, but this one it is a better box set than the Omen box set. But it was released around the same time as the Omen box set, and it's just a cash grab, really, with these box sets. But it is what I have for the Hannibal Lecter movies. So I hope you enjoyed my look into the Hannibal Lecter collection. I'll see you guys next time for our next review. I don't know what that is. Until then, hope you guys stay safe and have a good night.